calls me from out of the pit. The power, cut it!
Wait a minute, look!
You are still in your own world, Earth. The year is 2071.
The Time Travelers. Preston Foster, Philip Carey, Mary Anders, John Hoyt, and Dennis Patrick take you into a world beyond belief, where a season's growth can be condensed into seconds. Variable light becomes a seductive melodic symphony. And the Lumicord, the love machine, gives sensuous stimulation that conditions both men and women to a fuller, richer life of love. This is the world of the force field barrier, the laser pulse beam, the vibratransporter, and the Alpha Centauri starship. In the year 2071, scientific superbrains manufacture almost human robots. Whole armies of androids that fight off the feared mutants.
We are the last normal human beings on Earth. There is a creeping death all around us, and we cannot stay.
Where can you go?
To another planetary system.
Wait a minute, you can't go out there. The mutants are everywhere. There's one more.
Hey folks, welcome to the first ever episode of It Came from Saturday Night, a show where the three of us talk about the movies we watch on Saturday nights, particularly the movies that are on MeTV's Svengoolie, and we'll discuss Svengoolie episodes and like fan reactions to Svengoolie and Gwengoolie, because everybody wants to talk about Gwengoolie. Yeah, that's right. But first off, I'm Paul.
I'm Mark.
I'm Mike.
And this is It Came from Saturday Night. So tonight's movie was actually a really good one. I like this movie a lot. I've never seen Sven host it. I think he has, but I've never seen it. But it's the Time Travelers from 1964.
Well, I enjoyed it. I had never seen that movie.
Hmm.
Yeah, it was interesting. Yeah, I mean, it was similar to that show, The Time Tunnel.
Yeah,
I've seen,
yeah.
where they have the time gates are in there.
Which is supposedly influenced by this movie.
Right.
Yeah, as was the Space Family Robinson, which got turned into Lost in Space.
Mm-hmm.
I've pretty much I guess I would call this the first time I've seen it too, because I only have vague memories of it from as a kid. And so I couldn't have told you anything about the movie. For me, it reminded me of, of course, it had elements from H.G. Wells.
It's hard to make
the
time
Morlocks,
travel
with
thing.
the Morlocks invading. But what caught me way off guard was that it's Doctor Who's episode Utopia totally rips off the entire plot of this movie. And so when you've got a rocket ship that's taking away humanity to a future supposed planet to escape the end of the universe. And you've got, I think they call them the future kind in the Utopia episode, but they come and invade the base and or almost ruin the launch.
Right.
And I mean, that was just that little piece of it. The rest, because I'm sure people say in the comic, but there was so much more different.
Yeah.
And there was a lot more different in that. But just that little element, I'm like, oh, Utopia. So, but no, I thought it was, I thought it was advanced for its time when they were talking about the fact that they're going to have to fly to another galaxy because there is no life possible on other planets. And that's, you figure in the 50s and 60s, that was never true. There was always life on Venus and Mars.
Almost always
Pluto,
Venus
yeah.
and Mars.
Or the giant robots that invade from Pluto in the Spider-Man cartoon. And so it's, I thought that was interesting. The risque nature of some of it was different. It was completely different looking. And I thought the special effects were pretty good.
The special effects are some of my favorite parts of the whole movie. But remind me to get back to you on the ending of the movie.
Yeah.
But the special effects were all basically done. But the guy that was in charge of the special effects was a magician, and had showed was it Melchior?
Yeah.
How to do all this stuff, and how, like, you got Forey Ackerman doing it, where he turns the circle into a square and square into a circle, which is funny watching because you can see then just how blind Forrest Ackerman was, because you can see he was like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Right.
I'm doing this.
I think it's a triangle.
I think it's a triangle. Maybe it's a rabbit. But yeah, he a lot of the special effects were all basically there. Most of them were practical. There was some green screen work with when they would first show the time window, and then of course he'd reach into the time window. That was obviously not. But yeah, a lot of it was because the special effects guy was a magician. The thing that got me about the ending of this movie was usually, like, take a movie like When Worlds Collide, which is a ticking time bomb movie where the Earth's going to get destroyed. If you ain't seen it, go see it. Probably on Prime. I don't know. They almost always have, like, a happy ending. Even movies like there was one movie I saw where it turns out that the people that were in the spaceship ended up being like Adam and Eve on, like, a dinosaur planet, where there's always some kind of positive spin on the ending, or like some kind of, and they all lived happily ever after. This one, it's filmed comedy. There's a lot of humor in it. And it's not just because, like, the one dude says something dumb and everybody's like, "Oh, you're an idiot." It's like
the Dobie Gillis.
Yeah, the Dobie Gillis. Yeah.
He would be the Maynard. He would be the Maynard. But anyway.
Right. The movie itself was having fun, with the hangover, that kind of thing, which wouldn't normally happen. So you have this kind of thing going where you've got all this, like, humor involved in it, and the sex part to basically just kind of get you going, and then it just, like, ends horribly. It ends on a downer. Spoilers. It ends on a downer.
The ending of it reminded me of, because I got thrown off by a little bit by the end, but it reminded me a bit of, like, Disney's The Black Hole. So it looked like you were getting all of the possible endings at the end of the movie. So at the end of them, when it's spinning and going back and forth, it looks like somehow in one future they reach a new Earth in Andromeda, then they go back in one future, then they're trapped, then they're frozen, it seemed like they were trying to, like, have it all at the end. But yeah, it was an interesting.
Side note, Black Hole is one of the most underrated sci-fi movies, like, ever.
Yes, with, of course, the amazing thespian talent of Ernest Borgnine.
That's right. That's right.
A feature role in that movie, and great music for its time.
Yeah,
and so that's another crazy movie.
Yeah.
I'll have to watch that. I haven't seen that since it was in the theater.
Oh wow! Oh god, I watch it every couple times every couple of years. I have to watch it. Yeah.
On Disney Plus, I'm like, oh, I know what I'm doing.
Yep.
And what I get off track, but what I love about the Black Hole is, like, Disney won't even spend any money to, like, CGI out the wires holding Ernest Borgnine up as he's. You can see it plain as day You couldn't really see them in the theaters back then because it was 35 millimeter and a lot,
Yeah.
But high def stuff really ruins a lot of those old movies.
I think it's interesting because I read up on the movie for tonight a little bit, and
Mhm.
it was done as a B movie,
Mhm.
which I think they made a lot of interesting choices and did a bunch of interesting things you normally wouldn't waste your time doing
Yeah.
with a small budget doing a B movie.
Yeah.
And so I thought that was interesting. Some of their choices they made.
Yeah.
Bad costuming though. Bad
Oh.
costuming department. I think must have been hired by Roddenberry for the Star Trek: The Motion Picture. Look the same.
They say that this movie inspired Roddenberry used it to
Yeah.
show what you can do with a low budget in a movie for a TV show. So he must have really liked the costumes,
Yeah.
everything about the thing, all the budget of the costumes. So yeah, he hired whoever made the costumes
Must
for
have.
this
Yeah, had to.
because like some of these guys in the far future were wearing outfits that like my grandma would have worn
Hmm.
in to bingo night.
I thought the androids were interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, they kind of reminded me of the Mondrassian Cybermen from Doctor Who,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
kind of had that. I mean, and for a minute there, it's kind of horrifying watching the actors in those
Yeah,
suits.
yeah,
But I thought the android fight was really cool.
yeah. They're kind of like what was that movie? Was it the Humanoids or the Humanoid Makers or something like that that had these weird where the androids Sven has ran it on his show
Mhm.
before, where the androids kind of like rebel against their human masters. And they kind of reminded me of that. That's a pretty decent. That's what I actually thought this one was. I got excited at first. I'm like, oh, cool, because like obviously I can't remember the name of that movie,
Right.
but no, this movie's a lot of fun. The funny thing too is like apparently this was like Melchior's favorite out of all the movies that he made. And he made several and a lot of TV stuff, but this was like he thought this was the best thing he ever made. And I like Angry Red Planet a lot more, but
Hmm.
it has a whole different tone, and maybe we'll one day when Sven runs it or we're bored, we'll watch it one night and talk about it. But I thought the guy made a lot more stuff than he gives himself credit for what could be considered good.
Hmm. Yeah, really interesting movie,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
something different finally to watch. Something
Yeah.
we hadn't
Yeah.
seen before.
And great segue. By the way,
Yes.
drink your fake drink.
Oh yes, yes. Nope, no thoughts.
No
Sorry.
thoughts. No.
Thought I'd have something thoughtful to say.
Anyways, good segue though, because it seemed to me this entire. I know one of the problems that a lot of people on social media have about Svengoolie's show is like he keeps showing the same episode over and over again, and even when he does show the same episode again, there's usually something new on it. But this one, as far as I know, I mean, this was all new stuff.
Minus
Mhm.
I think I've seen the 59 Svengoolie.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
think, but I don't think it was for a time traveling movie. I don't remember what movie it was for
No, it
when he
was
did it, but
it was
that was at least 25 years old, I think, that
yeah,
bit.
that before I came back to
Yeah.
watching it when I didn't have cable or anything at that point. So that was new to me.
But the rest, I'd only seen one part of it before, but the rest of it was brand new.
Yeah.
I mean the music seemed new because Anita Exorcist was guest starred,
Mm-hmm.
and of course they had the Sven Squad on,
Mm-hmm.
and so yeah, it just seemed like a lot of new stuff. Um, and it was interesting in a new way that he didn't have to show any travels around the country.
Yes. Yeah.
Filler.
Yeah.
And so
No
um,
pinky in the brain.
no, nothing like that.
Yeah.
So that's always a plus when he
Mhm.
doesn't have to do those. And so hopefully he'll be traveling again soon so that we can get some new things.
Yeah.
Or new interviews. But yeah, I thought the Sven Squad was funny tonight. They did a bang up job, I
Mhm.
thought. I think Imp's growing on me. I think Imp's getting funnier each time he appears.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I love
I
him.
agree.
I love him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was funny.
Mhm.
And of course, Gwendolyn.
Cheers.
Gwen Goulet is apparently the favorite of which was kind of a no brainer. And here's the thing. I think about this sometimes. Thinking about Svengoolie when he first did the announcement where he was, looking for the Sven Squad. And no matter who they would have picked other than a female, the female, because of the predominant male audience of a show like this, the poor girl's gonna get just like ridiculed, obsessed over, and that's why we make jokes about because she's hot. Because if you go on like a lot of the Svengoolie groups on like Facebook, it seems there's a certain level of individual that's all they ever talk about.
Right.
So
Same guys that on the Hammer Facebook page only post pictures of the Hammer actresses and never discuss the Hammer movies, their
Right.
production plots.
yeah,
Which is why I left a lot of the Hammer groups.
It's like they discovered what Google was, and you went, "Oh, I'm going to put a picture of Ingrid Pitt on here again and again."
Yeah. Yeah, so that's the kind of people that annoy me with Svengoolie.
Yeah.
And because she has talent. I mean, I hope they have her do more music because she sang that one time and did great.
Yeah.
And so, I liked her and Imp, and of course, I mean, Nostalgia Ferrati did make an appearance, but he's my personal favorite. But I like it. They add to the show. And they got rid of the clacking noise with the new curve.
Yeah, that's right.
So
that was driving you crazy.
That was driving me crazy. That's clacking noise.
Speaking of getting rid of things, and again, another good segue. We're old, so we tend some of us older than others. We tend to watch this show with subtitles on, and
that's my fault.
Well, yeah, but
I can't hear.
When I first started coming over here and doing that, I'm like, oh, whatever. You can turn those off. Now, yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Because we were watching, me and my girlfriend were watching The Three Body Problem on Netflix. And man, I'm reading that show more than watching it. Because...
and mine is, as most of my friends know, I'm a British show person, and so sometimes the accents are really difficult
when they get
or if you watch Peaky Blinders. I could not watch Peaky Blinders without subtitles, and so and all my old man British mystery shows that I watch, and so. But anyway, so tonight I was somehow
we've been talking. We joke about it's always suspenseful music. Somebody swallowed a thesaurus this episode because every adjective you could think of to describe the music, we were cracking up over that.
Yeah, because when she was the puzzling music.
Downtrodden
music, yes. Uplifting music, hopeful music. Yeah, it was whoever was doing the subtitles did a great job.
And keep it up. Because that for those of us that watch it with subtitles, it adds to the patina of Svengoolie. Okay, so we got a sneak peek or whatever on one of the Facebook groups about the movies that are coming up for this month as of the time of this recording, and we're looking at next week is Island of Terror, then following that is The Wolfman, and then following that is Trilogy of Terror. Now, a lot of people complain. First of all, they're wrong. Y'all just shut up and watch Trilogy of Terror. It's brilliant. You guys, anybody that hates Trilogy of Terror is wrong. The thing is like, I noticed that as soon as they posted the listing for that, like, people in the comments were like, oh, he just showed that like a month ago or 2 months ago. So you're complaining about a movie that he showed like a month and a half ago that you're not going to see till the end of this month. It's not coming on tomorrow.
Well, I think this is what I wanted to bring up with all of this, what he has to do. So I think people have forgotten how broadcast television works.
Right.
When you have broadcast television, if you're watching one of the major television shows and your new season of a TV show comes on, typically you get about 4 or 5 episodes and then like 3 months of reruns. And then when the sweeps come, you get another 4 or 5 new episodes. Yeah. And then when we were kids, you'd go the whole summer with only reruns.
Yeah.
Right. So people are so spoiled now that it's one and done, and I'm always getting new content, but not real. No, you're not. So, for example, like The Crown. I mean, The Crown, you had to wait a year to 2 years for new seasons. So give Sven a break.
Yeah.
I mean, he's on broadcast television, so you have to have reruns. There's reruns are part of the business.
This isn't streaming.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
And I think streaming is something that has pretty well ruined. As much as I love it, I love just I hate timing my day to sit down and watch a show.
Correct.
When a couple of years ago, when I got cable for, I don't know why I ended up with it, for fun. Me and my son sat down and watched the aired broadcast of an episode of Black Lightning, and we hated it because we had to schedule our whole life around waiting for this time to sit down and watch a show. Now, he's old enough to remember, how television was broadcast. But my point being, streaming has spoiled us, and not necessarily in a bad way, but it has spoiled us to the idea that reruns are a thing, and reruns are a necessity sometimes. Because, like you were saying about how sometimes in their contract, okay, sure, you want Creature from Black Lagoon, all right, but you have to show it 5 times a year,
right?
So that's why you end up with that. And Trilogy of Terror, for instance, is probably one of those movies that that he has to show.
Yeah, it's not right. He can't. He's broadcast television. That's what it is. And so he's got a season. Every year he's got a season, and so he's going to have a handful of new stuff, but then he's going to have to show older episodes. That's just the way it works.
Yeah.
And there's nothing I mean, maybe there's a solution somewhere, who knows, but I don't know with broadcasting rights if you can do it. But at least what I look forward to is even if it's maybe a Svengoolie where I'm not paying as much attention to the movie because I've seen it too many times, I'm at least watching for the new material from him.
Yeah.
And so you can kind of count on something new from him, a new Sven Squad sketch or something, or the Kerwin segment is the male segment's typically new.
Yeah.
And so, but if you do, like we talked about, if you like streaming, if you want constant new content, go on Svengoolie's Reels.
Yeah.
Or they do TikTok. I mean, the Sven Squad comes out with new ones every other day.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's where I kind of get my, infusion of new Sven stuff.
Right.
Just doing that format. So at least they're becoming more sophisticated about it. But, I mean, it's too bad, the other thing that he would have to do would be to not just run Svengoolie every night, every Saturday. Like, so, I've run out of new material, so I'll do my repeats. Saturday mornings? I think he does on the U. That's where I'll show I'll show Trilogy of Terror my 5 times. And so then we'll have something else. So it's either no Sven or old Sven. You don't really get. He has no choice.
Yeah.
With broadcast television.
Speaking of broadcast television, I was very disappointed that there were no Shaq commercials.
Correct. The commercials were new tonight. He did have.
There was a lot of
new ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we also do that. We're so old that we also rate the commercials and review them as we go through.
We had the animal.
Yes.
What's it called?
Please donate so our CEO can be rich.
Yeah.
Ask.
We had that twice, and no Shaq commercials.
No Shaq commercials.
For those of you that don't know, Mike is the world's largest, the biggest Shaq fan.
Yeah.
He has his Shaq shirts. He's not wearing one tonight.
No.
But he has Shaq shirts. He loves Shaq that much.
Oh yeah.
I was disappointed when he's not on.
I do. And I just love Shaq.
He needs his own TV show.
Love Shaq.
You could be on the Shaq Squad.
Yeah.
You could be.
Well,
Shaq Squad.
And they didn't have the commercial for Gillette.
Oh yeah.
No.
That was created in a lab.
Right. And what else?
Yeah, they did. I mean, they repeated all the lawyer ones are repeats.
Oh yeah.
They always have.
Yeah.
But
what was it?
Again, broadcast television.
Yeah.
You have to show. I mean, even with the joke with the 1959 version of Sven, where it was sponsored by the cigarette company.
Yeah. Yes.
And so, I mean, they have to do that. They have to run those commercials. So, And there's only so much money to make commercials, I'm sure the companies have. So you cycle. That's why we all know the commercial. I mean, all those of us that grew up in the Chicago area, all of us know
we're never going to forget
the famous commercials that came out in the 70s and 80s. So
that car could be worth
right.
money.
It's just things we have to accept that people nowadays. I mean, buy yourself a DVR.
Yeah.
Get yourself a DVR, and then you can fast forward. Or if you're that frustrated, I suppose go watch something else. That week. So if Trilogy of Terror, if you're tired of it, then go watch something else.
I mean, I would hazard a guess that a good chunk of people that watch his show watch it the way we do, and that it's not one person sitting home by themselves watching it. They usually have a group, and the gathering is part of it. Even if it's a movie we've seen so many times, we still watch it and enjoy it, and it gives you a chance. It gives you a chance to riff on it, and that just adds to the experience, I think.
There was one on Sven a while back, and I missed it, called The Werewolf.
Oh yeah.
Oh okay. Yeah.
And I've never seen that movie. I wish you would show that again. But
so Sven, if you're watching,
let's see Werewolf again.
Make Mike happy. So get him an autograph from Shaq and sell The Werewolf.
Right.
While we're on the subject of movies that that you haven't seen in a while, and maybe to close out the show, if you could get a movie that you've never seen on Svengoolie, or to your recollection he's never run it, what would you want to see?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
I'll go first while y'all think.
Okay.
Attack of the Mushroom People. That is one of my all-time favorite scary movies. Scared the living bejesus out of me when I was a little kid and saw it, and I still love it to this day. There's still some scenes that are pretty creepy. I think Attack of the Mushroom People would be a great, that of the green slime, either one. But I'd love to see either one of those.
I would like to see him show an El Santo movie.
Oh God, that would be awesome.
Yeah,
bro, El Santo.
Yeah, like what the American version is called, Samson versus the Vampire Women.
Yes.
I want to see Night of the Living Dead.
Oh,
yeah.
Because I would like to see him do some comedy bits about Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah.
And so then, what song would he do for that? And I don't know if he's ever shown it. I don't have a memory of it, but
with his door gags, he could do door gags all night of zombies trying to get in and do stuff.
Yeah, I think that would be great.
Yeah, I would. I mean, can he not show it because it's public domain?
I mean, they did it on Svengoolie, so I don't know how they were able to do that, unless it's just. Well,
I'm pretty sure King of the Zombies is public domain, and he's shown that before. Because King of the Zombies always ends up on those 100 classic horror movies for $1. I'm pretty sure it's public domain, and so is Samson versus the Vampire Woman.
Right, that's true.
All right, well, this was our first episode. We're still trying to figure it out. If you want to see more episodes, let us know down below. Like us. Subscribe, comment, let us know what you'd like to see Svengoolie show. Again, I'm Paul.
I'm Mark.
And I'm Mike.
And this has been It Came from Saturday Night.
That old car might be worth money. Call Victory Auto Wreckers at 860-2000 for a quote. Victory will tow no matter what condition your car's in. Victory tows 7 days a week, and you might get cash on the spot or save money by fixing up your car with used parts. Victory has 10 acres of used parts, starters, transmissions, batteries for all types of cars. Victory Auto Wreckers, 710 East Green in Bensonville near O'Hare. Call 630-860-2000.